The administration has given itself until May 15th to decide whether it's going to revise upwards its cap of 15,000 refugee admissions between now and September 30th. What would be the reason for not going all the way up to the cap that the administration communicated already to Congress of 62,500?
Well, we have every intention of the president has every intention of providing an updated number that will be significantly higher than the number from last week, because the intention he was trying to convey last week, or we were all trying to convey, was that we were resuming flights and that we were overturning the policy of preventing individuals, refugees, from applying from parts of the Middle East and parts of Africa. But I'm not going to get ahead of the process. We're assessing what's possible. We're assessing that through our policy and legal process, and we'll definitely have an update of an increased number in advance of May 15th.
Given that that number, 62,500, was already communicated to Congress earlier this year and is a cap, limit, it's not a commitment to bring in that many people, why not just go right up to that cap and that limit? What's the reason for
I certainly will take that into consideration. You're right, in that this cap is historically aspirational. If you look back at history, most administrations don't actually meet the cap, but it is sending a message to the world about the fact that we are a country that welcomes in refugees, that we want to get our systems and our muscles working in our refugee processing systems, both in the country and around the world. There were some limitations this year that were unique to this year, in part because of COVID, in part because of the fact that the systems were decimated under the last administration, and we just have to take a look at all of that. But I think it's an important point you touched on that I'd highlight, that oftentimes this is an aspirational goal and one that we are just trying to reach to send a message to the world about who we are as a country.
Does the Biden administration see increasing the number of refugees admitted each year as a long-term solution to helping alleviate the pressure on the border, people who come to the United States illegally because they don't have other legal avenues? Does the Biden administration see increasing the number of people allowed in the refugee program as a long-term solution to resolving the pressure on the border?
I don't think we see it through the same prism exactly like that. It's an interesting question. The president's cap, or the president's objective, has always been consistently from February through last week welcoming in 125,000 by the end of next fiscal year. So really what we're talking about here is what the cap is for this fiscal year. And as I mentioned, we've been dealing with a few challenges, but we're assessing that. We will have an increased number very soon. But as you know, a lot of these refugees are not coming, they're coming from all around the world. They're coming from Africa, they're coming from the Middle East, they're coming from many parts of the world. And so while it's all related, because it's representing who we are as a country and welcoming in people who are freeing persecution, freeing challenging circumstances, I don't think he sees it exactly through that prism.
Do you have an update on the number of refugees that have been admitted into the United States under the Biden administration?
Over the last week or so, or over the last few weeks, I think we do have numbers. I'm happy to get those to you after the briefing. We've seen, because of flights resuming, we've seen an increase even just over the last week. Go ahead.